Holy Lovecraftian B-movie, Batman. It's a showdown of the holy Lovecraftian B-movies. So it's the Resurrected versus Dagon. Heyo, welcome to Too Old for This Shite, the only podcast that talks about movies that no one else probably remembers or cares about. This week we're having a Lovecraft movie face-off between Stuart Gordon's Dagon and Dan O'Bannon's The Resurrected. So, as usual, we're going to be marking the movies or rating the movies on 5 different categories, yes. Which are, we'll get to
only known to us, and inside our own heads.
We'll get to it as we go through.
You'll have to guess.
But so I suppose we'll just start off with giving a little plot rundown of the movies. Like, both movies are based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft. The Resurrected is based on the strange case of Charles Dexter Ward. I'd say I don't have anything in front of me, but I should know this. The basic plot is that Charles Dexter Ward is getting up to something funky in his shed. The wife kind of says, oh, he's a different person. They start investigating and much hilarity ensues. Then with the plot for Dagon, it's probably more Lovecraftian than the other. Well, I suppose what people would consider Lovecraft. It's based on Shadow over Innsmouth and a couple of other things mashed in together with it. Where,
a lot of Cthulhu.
Yeah, where it's, they do the Cthulhu chanting, but Cthulhu isn't in it. It's meant to be I don't know. It's all over the place. But
I love the way Cthulhu isn't in it. Like, it was just like, he just took the film off.
They could have even just had like a
they didn't pay him enough money, like, to just have him show up.
Have fucking what's his name that plays Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, shows up as Cthulhu, looking sad and going, I have to come back. But the plot to Dagon is a couple, they get stranded on near it's Spanish village, and it's called Imboca, which means in the mouth, I think. So it's like a play on Innsmouth. But they get stranded there. They discover that all the people living there are kind of half human, half fish. Much hilarity ensues.
There's a lot of hilarity in these films, according to yourself there.
There is, in particular with The Resurrected, which I think we'll get to. Yeah. And there's meant to be comedy in Dagon, but there's a lot of really unintentional stuff, which we'll get to as well, mostly because of the really bad CGI. So I suppose, what one do you want to start with?
Sure, one you want? You fire away there, Mr. Cthulhu.
Sure, I suppose we'll get started with Dagon.
Dagon it.
Yeah, we're going to be... The first category is like just the vibes, just the general movie, the atmosphere around the movie. So with Dagon, like we were saying, it's based on the Shadow over Innsmouth, which I presume everyone knows about. If you don't, go off and read it. But like, this being a Stuart Gordon movie, produced by Brian Yuzna, the people who did Reanimator.
Yes.
What was the other one? From Beyond. They did a load of films together. But this one, it's loosely based on the book and the story, because the same as Reanimator was very loosely based on, I think was it called Herbert West Reanimator was the story?
Possibly. You're asking me now with my fucking shit recall.
It's set in modern day, obviously, and it's like this young couple that they're your man Paul, is the name of the main guy?
I think so, yeah. Well, basically they seem to be on a small yacht with his kind of parents-in-law, or an older couple. It's not really
no idea.
Kind
they
of
never
explained.
say who they are. Yeah, I take it that they're like work friends or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, they basically they're out enjoying themselves, sort of lovely sunshine, they're out sunbathing and all the rest, and this storm just blows up out of nowhere. And when I say blows up out of nowhere, it's like literally fucking just, they're all like, oh, lovely sunshine, and literally this cloud just goes, I'm here now. and rolls over the horizon like nothing I've ever seen in nature or in any other film before or since.
That's because of the terrible CGI.
Yeah.
Like when we say the CGI is bad, this is
it's right.
A lot of movies around that late 90s, early 2000s.
They were trying out the sort of oh wow, CGI, we can do this with computers. Let's try it with computers.
And it'll be so much cheaper. We can do it, and it's and
it ends up looking like that Dire Straits video, Money for Nothing, except 10 times shitter, I think.
Yeah, Money for Nothing looks a lot better than this. Like when the boat gets smashed up against a rock. It's real because the water doesn't look real. The boat doesn't look real. It
looks like a toy boat that somebody is chucking around in a bath. And the cloud, like, I mean, if you remember the cloud, sort of the dust cloud in the mummy where it turns into the mummy's face, like, I mean, that is...
I'd say that still probably holds up.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I would actually believe that could happen in nature far more often than this cloud in this.
It probably does.
Yes.
Oh, look, son of a moon!
But this, like, cloud just literally, it was like somebody just, like, spilled a load of black ink into their tea or something. They're like, oh look, it's a cloud.
But we won't go through it all, because otherwise we're going to give the whole fucking talk through the film, like.
Yes, but suffice to say, the fucking CGI is it means well, but it just is fucking it. Every now and again, you're just like have to stop and go for yourself sick.
But basically, like, we're talking about the plot.
Yes.
So they get stranded there, and the boat is sinking. Your woman, the other woman friend, she gets her leg trapped in a rock
she's
between
injured.
the boat.
Yeah.
So they like have to get to shore, and it's in Boca is this village, and it seems like it's deserted, and they can hear strange chanting and music coming from it, going Cthulhu Fatanga Fatang. So they go exploring, and then they it's really weird. Like, there's a lot of plot holes in this.
Numerous. It's almost like a fishing net, you could say.
Yeah. You were thinking about that all. You were oh God.
Yes.
What would you have it written on the back of your hand?
The back of my web tabs.
Yes. But yeah, when they get there, they start noticing. They come across a priest at the esoteric church of Dagon. And he's like, they notice that he's got webbed hands, and he like hooks him up with someone to go out and save the other two, and they go out there, and the
other two are missing already.
They're missing, there's just blood there, and he's like, oh no. So it's a bit pointless. I don't understand why they bring it up, because basically the villagers just want to capture everyone, skin them, and sacrifice them to Dagon. Use the women as vessels for Dagon, I suppose, is a nice way of putting it, to plant his seed in them to make more fish people. So the story is that they have all these fuckers running around in the village years ago.
Well, running, they're kind of like slurping around with their weird tentacles and like gills and fucking, fish suckers and stuff. And they're basically just trying to kill and sacrifice the interlopers.
But and like your man Paul is on the run from, and he kept having dreams about this mermaid that has like teeth. And he's like, oh God. And when he's running and hiding from all the fish people, which gets a bit boring, I think, after a while, because it's essentially kind of a chase movie. But it's not like a Carpenter chase movie, because the tension isn't really there. So there's one. I'm sorry, I know you're like, don't go into detail there, but there's one bit that I was just talk about bits and pieces, but not
myself laughing because it was just so bizarre. He was in this disgusting, horrible, mouldy hotel room, right?
Hotel room,
It's just, and he hears all like the fish people are all like fucking chanting outside, and they're coming up the hotel to try and break. He knows they're coming for him, and there's no lock on his door, and he's like, oh no, what'll I do? So instead of like any normal person that'd be like, I'll pull a wardrobe over and block the door, he sees there's like a little fucking deadbolt on the toilet door, so he unscrews the deadbolt from the toilet door so he can screw it onto his main hotel doorway.
I would imagine that they thought that'd be really funny kind of thing, because it was like meant to be like a real tense moment, and it was like but the music was wrong on it, and it was kind of shot wrong.
It was,
because I think there was a lot. I saw an interview with Stuart Gordon, and he was saying that a lot of it was meant to be funny.
Yes,
but I think it was.
You see,
lost
it was
in translation.
That's the thing. I could see it being hilarious in like an Evil Dead film.
That's, I think, what they were going for. But I don't think your man had fucking acting ability.
He was
Bruce
attempting
Campbell
to be
pull it
Ash,
off.
yeah, but he wasn't quite there. Or
That's
it
exactly
wasn't
what
the
they were doing.
translation, yeah.
He was meant to be, because that character was meant to be really funny. And there was loads of bits and pieces, like where he like fucking tries to hotwire the car, because he thinks of himself as being really competent with things, and he like tries to hotwire the car and just sets off the horn, and they're all like, everything he does, he just makes a balls of it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much a large part. Like, he breaks into a house at one point to hide from when they're chasing him, and gets attacked by this giant fucking half fish man with tentacles. And like, there's a small kid that keeps shouting at him, and he busts like a toilet lid off its head and kills it.
Yeah, the adult.
Yeah.
And
He
then
said that the kid was really annoying though.
yeah, in fairness, he would be like, shut up, child, I'll
But
kill
at
your
the same
weird
point,
father.
it was like, you just broke into someone's house, and then when they tried to defend themselves, because
You
and look after
killed
their
the child's father,
yeah, in front of him with a toilet.
Yeah.
And this is the hero.
Yes, exactly.
But basically, he gets
yeah.
caught after a while, and then they're all still alive. And it turns out that your woman that was on the boat got impregnated by Dagon. She kills herself.
Horribly with a
his
knife.
wife gets used as a sacrifice, and fucking Dagon rips her arms off and fucking does stuff to her. He finds the mermaid one is like this priestess of Dagon. It turns out to be his actual sister, and at the end of it, he gets fucking, but when he burns himself alive, because he's like originally from there, and he's like, oh, I don't want this. She chucks him into the water, and they swim off down into a hole to meet Dagon, and that's it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. But saying that, I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is quite
It's a good
good.
movie.
Like, there's certain bits in it are very sort of, there's a lot, some bits are kind of quite, I don't know, heart-wrenching, like when the old drunk guy shows up and you go back through his history, and that's actually handled quite well, I have to say.
The whole atmosphere, but they get the whole fucking, it feels like slimy, you know, the thing, like there's bits even when he gets into the car and there's like a fish person after being like, when he's in the hotel room, I think that sets it up.
That's actually, the whole thing is set up really well insofar as it's constantly fucking pissing down rain the whole time. Everything is wet, it's drenched, it's slimy, it's mouldy, it's mouldy, it's rank, it's fucking, like as I said, the hotel room, it's just, everywhere is just
grimy
moist
and sleazy, and like even when he pulls back the blanket in the hotel room and there's like a black stain on it in the shape of a person,
and it's just black mold.
Whereas like these people, they like, I mean, they did it years ago when they couldn't catch fish. They decided that there was like a priest of Dagon showed up, and he was like, oh well, if you make a couple of sacrifices to
pray to
Dagon,
Dagon, what are you doing praying to Jesus? He doesn't give you a fish.
Dagon will give you gold and fish. And there's a bit even in it where your man, he's an investment banker, the guy, and he's like, oh, I'll give you $10 million if you let me live. And they're like, we've got 1,000 times that in gold, we don't care. You know, their whole thing, it's that classic Lovecraft thing that people talk about. And even I think there might have been an episode of The Real Ghostbusters that was based on this as well. And there was definitely a Cthulhu one. There was a couple of Lovecraft ones in it. But their like whole thing is that they want to return to the sea, that they're like children of Dagon, and Dagon's after blessing them by kind of transforming them into these half fish, half men things.
They all have gills and they all have webbed hands and webbed toes and stuff like that. Much like some of the inhabitants of some of the towns around.
There's a lot of places around Ireland that are very similar.
Yes, where you drive in and you kind of go, reverse the car back out at top speed there now.
And like, I mean, it feels like it could exist in the real world.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Well, like, I mean, it's a really small village.
That's why we've driven through a few villages like that one in like, you know,
there's
in mainland
like that.
Europe.
There's villages like that all around Europe.
Yeah.
You know, like we lived over in the southwest of England at one point, on the coast there, and then like between Cornwall and Devon. And like Cornwall has a lot of places similar to it. Not nicer now than fucking this, like,
picturesque and not quite as rainy. But
and
like
they make the
France,
fish people look
Spain,
like fucking models.
But there are a lot of villages that are built right up on the water, and you know they have that same look, and you could picture some of the locals. They're reliant on the fishing trade.
It feels realistic.
Yeah.
I think the thing that does let it down a lot is the shitty CGI in it, because like a lot of the practical effects are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
In it, so it's just a shame. I think with that.
What are we rating it on? What is
it's just the overall vibes and the atmosphere.
Okay.
with
Well,
it. So it's just-
the vibes I think is actually top notch because, as I
Yeah.
said, it is like fucking. It is squelchy. That's like the whole way through. It's waterlogged, squelchy, slimy, fucking. It's night time nearly the whole time, and it's drenched and moist, and it just has that real fucking damp seaside,
Yeah.
horrible fishery town.
It looks great.
It smells like
Yeah.
it's you can nearly smell the fish. Like, do you know what I mean?
It does, like I was saying, it looks great. It's like the only thing that does let it down is the CGI.
Yeah.
The gore in it, the graphics, like we'll get up to kind of like, the carnage and all that shit.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. Like it is genuinely a good movie. This is probably the 5th or the 6th time that we've seen it. I think.
Yeah, and the CGI, that's the thing, the CGI is fucking appalling, but
Yeah.
it is like, if you actually look at the practical effects, like that hotel room, the whole setup of the hotel room, that's pure mank, and that's horrible.
It's just not.
And it's that's what I mean. It's the realistic mank. Like you could see yourself going into a hotel room like that somewhere and just going, oh my god.
But it's what I kind of
0 stars on TripAdvisor.
The people in it kind of feel like they could exist as well because, like, I mean, there's the priests in it look like one of our old landlords
Bitch,
who used to drip snot
Yes.
when you were talking to.
just leaky and moist and clammy and
really
everything
kinda,
was clammy. Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
so the vibe, I think, was really fitting for a Dagon Cthulhu mythos kind of film. Yeah, so
But,
5 out of 5 for me.
we're not marking it yet.
No, fucking
Chill
I
out.
am. Shut up.
But onto The Resurrected.
Yeah, okay.
The Resurrected was written and directed by Dan O'Bannon. People who might not be aware of Dan O'Bannon, you look at any Alien fucking thing in the franchise and his name is plastered all over because he wrote the original Alien movie. He also directed the Return of the Living Dead, one of the best zombie movies of all time. And this I think he only directed that Return of the Living Dead in this, as far as I know. But yeah, the story to this, it's based on the strange case of Charles Dexter Ward. It's in this version of it. It's kind of like a noir movie, I suppose, where it's like a wife goes to a private investigator saying, "My husband has gone missing. Can you help me find him?" They track him down, and there's another guy with him. He's acting strange. They don't really know what's going on. There's loads of meat and blood being delivered to where he is. There's a strange
corpses
man kind of guarding.
coffins.
They don't know what it is. And then, obviously, look, I should have said at the start, there's spoilers for all of these. Dagon, you know exactly what's going to happen. With this, it's less obvious.
Yes, but you kind of have a bit of a notion.
Yeah, what happens in this is basically the guy that's there. He's like, Charles Dexter Ward is after resurrecting one of his ancestors, who was a black magician and an alchemist, who was kind of like Victor Frankenstein, who was doing, and like Herbert West, he was performing rituals to try and reanimate the dead so he could live forever. He figured out how to do it, but with like there's like side effects, which I never really get into too much, but basically has to eat flesh and drink blood and stuff. But there's loads of failed experiments at this guy. It was Ezra Ward, I think, was his ancestor. So the film deals with like the investigator kind of discovering this. Oh, and the wife is Ross's wife from Friends, yes. Carol, who's very good in this.
Yes. She's just one of these sort of a stereotypical classy 80s lady kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like, I mean, the thing is, it's amazing to be part of something like Friends, where like but I think on the other side
and as you said, straight away it was like, oh my god, that's Ross's wife. Yeah. And it's like, we were just like the whole way through, oh my god, Ross's wife is in this.
Yeah, but she's really good in it.
She's great.
The private investigator, like, I'm not IMDb, I'm not going to fucking... Normally, I know other shows probably have up the list of names and stuff. But he was Private Joker's captain in Full Metal Jacket when he goes off with the journalist corps. Whatever the fuck, they're the press in it. Then there's a lot of big names, and Chris Sarandon plays Ezra Ward and Charles Dexter. So basically the whole thing that happens is that your man, the ancestor, kills the other guy and he's trying to take his place, but because he's acting so strangely, he gets locked up in a mental institute. And while he's in the mental institute, they kind of like the investigative team discover all the stuff about him, and like they go through it, they've discovered journals. If you've ever played Call of Cthulhu, this is like a fucking typical Call of Cthulhu thing where it's like, oh, something strange is going on. Oh, we find clues. Oh, we
go
find
down in the basement.
Yeah, and then
oh
at
no,
the end
there's
we have
unspeakable
monsters.
horrors in the basement.
Yeah, it's gory, but there's way less gore. It's less action packed than Dagon. So the two are very different films. I think what elevates this is the acting, whereas like the acting in Dagon kind of brings it down a notch. Even though it's serviceable in Dagon, but it's not like. But this Chris Sarandon is brilliant in it. All the cast are really
well,
good.
that's what I think. Like, I mean, Jesus, I wish I should really learn the woman's name. Ross's wife, if you might Google it for me there. She would come across as, like, as I said, she's the epitome of like a classy, ice cold blonde with red lipstick, and she's just one of these, like,
she's really likeable.
But that's
like
what I mean.
Jane
yeah. But I mean, if she had gone another way, she could have been one of these absolute fucking glamorous Hollywood fucking starlets. Do you know this kind of a thing? She just has this real, I don't know, cool fucking leading lady kind of vibe about her.
She is very much like she's done loads of movies. Like she's done a ton of movies. I remember when we were looking at it, I was looking her up. Just to see what else she was on. Like she was famous well before Friends. She was in Santa Barbara. Barbara.
But no, she's the epitome of like your elegant sort of Hollywood fucking old school glamour kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And she was perfect for like what this is being pitched as, like fucking, you know, sort of a war investigation kind of thing. You picture her as like this dame going into like this PI, like,
but she doesn't, you know, the way a lot of times in things like that they come across as being like
helpless,
or slutty or something like that.
No,
whereas she just comes across as likeable. She's not like trying it on with the private detective.
No, she's my husband.
She's genuinely
she's concerned about him, and she's capable as well. Like she's down there with her shirt sleeves rolled up down the basement, like fucking daring do again as well.
Now, when they do go investigating, they're all a bit hapless, I suppose. Like they bring one flashlight between them, which keeps dying and stuff. They keep dropping shit. They have like fucking Semtex, which they're throwing around like it's.
Yeah, like they're playing pickup sticks with her or something.
The guy who's like the assistant who they've been mad about the whole way through, he falls down a hole and gets ripped apart by monsters down.
And they're kind of like,
oh well,
let's keep going then. Let's go on.
The whole thing where they were like initially curious about like that, like there might be something wrong with Charles Dexter Ward, was that like she showed a picture and she was like, and he was like, he's got great teeth.
Yes.
And then like when
they met him in person, his teeth are really bad. They're grungy.
Like, and he speaks in a New England accent.
Yeah.
And they're like, he speaks very strange. You must be going mental. And it's like, And then they put it together. It's a good little mystery thing, but I think it's incredibly obvious because the outfit that they have at the start were the two. It's quite obviously two Chris Sarandons, whereas like it's like Charles Dexter Ward is Chris Sarandon's on there, and he's like, oh, this is my colleague Dr. fucking Felcho or whatever it was, and he's got like a really bad fake beard stuck on, and it's like it's Chris Sarandon. So you kind of go, all right, there's two, you know, they figure it out very, very quickly. But it's a good movie.
Yeah, they're, as I said, two very different films, but again, it hit the vibe I was going for.
It gets surprisingly fucking gory in parts, which we'll get into, I suppose, in the next category for it. It feels like a good film noir thing. Early
with
90s.
Some fucking terrible bits of horror in it as well.
There's very little about it online that I could find about it. Like there was only one, I think it was like a 1.5 minute clip I found of Dan O'Bannon talking about it, where he was like saying that he was really pissed off about it because the studios took it away from him at the end and they re-edited it all, and it wasn't the movie that he wanted to make. He wanted a bit more, or he had it shot originally with more humour in it, which probably would have suited it. Yeah. Because there's some bits in it that are just very reminiscent of Return of the Living Dead. That bit when they go back to when they're reading the journal and it goes back to like a couple of 100 years, and it's like the Puritans and they discover the shit that your man Ezra is doing, and they get one of the monsters that he's after making and they burn it alive. that's a very
That's
evil,
yeah.
or not
and it's a
even Return of
horrendous
the Living
scene
Dead
as well.
shot,
It's
yeah.
like, Jesus, they could have put it out of its misery before they burnt it. Like,
But it's
oh
got
my God.
that kind of slow motion bit like that they have a lot in Return of the Living Dead, and it's just very, it gives an uneasy feeling to it. And like the creature, it's all practical effects in this as well. Chris Sarandon, like we're saying, is brilliant. He's brilliant in fucking anything that he's in, but he is kind of funny as well.
Yes.
But at the end, where he kind of breaks out of the straitjacket and he's just like, oh, fuck this shit. You do kind of believe that this is a guy that's like evil and he can rip you, because he's playing this kind of like, well, kind of like, dost thou talk to me? You know, kind of like.
Yes. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to murder you all.
Yeah. And it's like, oh shit. So yeah, I suppose just marking the two films on the vibe.
Well, I'm going to score them evenly because I actually thought they both hit their own vibe quite well.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. Yeah, I think it's a draw on both of them. So it's 10 each.
10?
Yeah. Well, you give it 5 and I give it 5. Yeah,
I can't count.
So
see, I've got web fingers, so I can't differentiate.
Yes. So I suppose now we go on to like the carnage or nonsense, the action and the special effects. And so with Dagon, there is a lot of gore in Dagon, and it starts off. There's a lot, like it fucking, I'd say about maybe 20 minutes into it starts and it doesn't let go. There's like this drunk guy in it that's like the only human in the village, Ezra, who like tells him the story that he was a child there when the priest of Dagon shows up, but he gets like flayed alive in it, and that looks real.
That is horrendous.
Yeah,
that's
when they
true.
pull the
they
skin
peel
off him,
his whole face off, basically.
Yeah. And I've seen it in other films, and you kind of go, like it's latex.
This is horrendous because he was screaming his head off as well when it happened. Yeah,
it does look very real. The monsters look real in it as well. It's all the practical effects
is all
are
excellent,
brilliant. The fight scenes are kind of funny in it. There's a bit where, like, after your man gets skinned, or your man Peter breaks free and he decides that he's going to kill the priest, and he's got like 2 knives and it's very Evil Dead-y, and he's like, and the priest just throws a knife at him and misses, and then he goes over and he stabs him. But there's what turns out to be his father, because the thing is they're skinning people as well, so they can use the skin to kind of hide what they are. But the father looks more like Cthulhu-esque, I suppose, doesn't he? He's got that kind of Cthulhu squid head on him, and he's got like a walking stick, and he's like, you're my son,
his
Paul.
tentacle wrapped around his walking stick.
Your mother left the village years ago. And he's like, what? And the reveal for your woman, the priestess, when she's in the bed and he's like kissing her, and then he pulls the sheets off.
And she's got big 2 tentacles for legs. Yeah.
And she's like, what's wrong, Paul? But I thought that they were good. The action in it is quite good as well. But I do think it gets let down a little bit by...
It's the flashes of the CGI. Because if you left out those few CGI bits, I think it'd be fantastic, because the setting is great.
Yeah.
The village is brilliant. The constant rain is great. Everything is wet. Everyone looks miserable and damp. Everyone, like all of the fish people, they all have this weird, sickly, fucking clammy pallor the whole time.
Did you know that was a lot of like the people that actually lived in the village?
Oh, really?
That they did. I wonder if they had they didn't use makeup.
But like everyone, like even say the people who are sort of like the more normal looking ones, like say the hotel guy and the priest and all the rest, they all just looked clammy and sweaty.
Yeah, but they had like small feet, so like the hotel guy, he had gills, and that they were moving. But it's just the action wise, for me, it kind of got a bit boring. Looking at Dagon, I don't know if it's because it's like numerous times after seeing it, but the unrelenting kind of chase, it was just like, oh God, it felt like too long before they caught him, and that the movie actually started to progress on, because nothing really happened. It was just these people stumbling after him. You know, if you're looking at a zombie movie, there was like a real sense of threat and danger there. Where with this, it was just like, what are they going to do if they catch him? Like, they can barely fucking walk, most of these people.
Yeah, but then they caught him and they fucking skinned the other guy alive.
But that's what you needed to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So you could be like, oh, these fucking people.
Yeah, there is a proper threat, like.
Yeah, whereas, it just took too long, I think, for that to And it was just like, oh jeez, he's running into that house now. No, he's hiding down there, and he's, you know, and
well, like that whole thing where they spent ages trying to like hotwire the car and like escape in the car, and then it was just like 2 minutes later, it was like, crashed the car, and it's like, oh, I'm out and I must walk.
Yeah, and he crashed it after hitting.
Yeah, the whole car was written off after he bumped into like a person. How shit was that car?
So I don't know. It just felt like. Because after they got caught, to me it feels like the film starts.
I suppose.
Or when they're doing the flashback to like when your man was young and explain about the Dagon priest and stuff. Whereas with like the Resurrected, obviously there's not really any action in it at all.
It's not action per se. Yeah, it's a story. Really, I suppose.
Now it does get gory near the end, but like it is with that. There's very very little gore. It's only really when they'd have the flashback. And I think there's 1 or 2 bodies found where someone had all their flesh. I thought the effect of like that whole thing, like I mean the actual, I suppose one of the things like when they found some of the journals is like, oh well, the sort of what happens then is like the flesh that you've used from the dead bodies, it'll return to them, kind of a thing, if things go badly awry. And that started happening at the end, like, you know, when you I can't even remember it all. It felt a bit weird. It nearly felt like
it was like when you threw the powder on the bones of fucking what's his face, and it was like, oh, I'm going to suck all the flesh back off your body. It nearly felt like, you know, in
time travel thing where 2 bodies can't exist in the same time thing, so they end up turned into a black hole or something. I don't know.
Basically it was like, oh, if you take somebody else's life and flesh, if they get resurrected, they take it back off you, kind of thing. So it was like, it was kind of cool just watching your man getting resurrected and such, and sucking the flesh back off. That was disgusting.
It was kind of Ray Harryhausen, but disgusting Ray Harryhausen with that bit.
And as I said, all the monsters, the failed experiments down though. That was very like The Fly Part 2. Do you remember the fucking inside out dog down in the pit?
Vaguely.
That seared into my memory.
The Fly Part 2 out of me fucking mind.
No, The Fly Part 2 in general. I presume it's The Fly Part 2.
It's one of the flies as
anyway.
The kid in it.
Well, I don't know. See, I kind of blanked out. You know the way I am. I can't tell like ones from twos from threes, kind of a thing. They all meld together, but it's just the inside out dog just really traumatized.
Oh, I think that might have been the original Fly.
No.
With Jeff Goldblum.
No, well, Jeff Goldblum was in it, all right, but
I think that's The Fly. Yeah, The Fly Part 2 was like his son. It was Eric Stoltz, and they had him in some kind of lab, and he was trying to break out of it.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, whatever Fly had the inside out dog.
Yeah,
anyway.
The
that
David
very much upset
Cronenberg's
me.
one. Yeah.
Yes. But that sort of kind of reminded me of all the failed experiments. There were just all these half fucking people and stuff just like moaning around down the pit.
Now, I think as well, say, kind of like on a comedy level with it, Dagon is trying to be funny, but isn't really. It kind of gets the comedy beats off a bit, and I don't really know why. It's
well, that's the thing, because it was like you could see where it was trying to be Ash and sort of even Eddie and stuff like that, but it just wasn't quite as.
I don't know if it was the actor's fault or
I just don't think they went ridiculous enough. You need to be properly fucking committed to the bit of being ridiculous, and I don't think they did that.
No, and then the Resurrected. Even though I know Dan O'Bannon said that he wanted it to be funny in parts, but they changed it. It was like unintentionally funny. Like we were fucking pissing our holes laughing when they went down the basement and all the stuff was going on. There was a few other bits and pieces that were just like you know, there was like the typical PI thing where he slept in his office.
Yeah.
And he woke up in the morning and he was like, he looked fucking destroyed, like proper smelly, and it was like, oh, don't have a shower, just change your shirt.
Yeah, it's fine, and your secretary will do it for you. She'll actually like fucking strip you and put a new shirt on.
It's like, yeah, you had a really nice office as well, whereas like, wait, how much money are you getting paid that you have all these people working for you? And he was dressed like a yuppie and driving it kind of had MacGruber vibes to like
it did a bit actually,
but it was unintentionally funny. And like there were some parts in it were really funny because the acting just wasn't great. You know, it was just. So I suppose going on the gore and the nonsense.
No, I think Dagon wins it out.
Yeah, what are you going to give Dagon out of 5?
Sure, go on, give it a 5.
5, really?
I thought the action and the not. That's as I
I
said.
think I'd give it a 3.
The physical effects I thought were great in Dagon.
Yeah,
I think it was just.
I'd give it a 4, maybe.
I think it was just, as I said, occasionally they tried to throw in a few CGI effects, and it was like fucking, oh my god, there's sharks and a fucking tornado kind of thing.
I think I'm going to give it a 3 because of the action really kind of dragged a bit for me, I thought. So that gets an 8 overall. The Resurrected?
I'm going to give that, let's give that a 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 2, being honest with you, because it's not
action packed.
It's not action packed.
No.
The gore is very it's done well when it does happen, but it doesn't even have the impact where you kind of go, ugh.
Yeah.
You know. So on to the next one is iconic moments.
Oh well. In Dagon, the iconic moments when fucking old mermaid Features has her teeth and her mouth opens and she has all the tentacles spurling out.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. Unintentionally iconic, I think.
There's a lot of good shots actually in Dagon. Even that scene at the start where it's like he's having a dream that he's like scuba diving and he comes across this hole down to Dagon that has the symbol on it. The skinning scene is like
that's horrendous.
Yeah,
that'll be seared into your mind.
Yeah,
right.
I do think the flashback was probably one of the best.
It's handled very well.
Ones that I've seen for the pics of Lovecraftian thing. Even like the priest, he looks Egyptian. That shows up. So kind of like part of me was kind of like they probably wanted that to be Nyarlathotep. You know, there was that kind of feel of the walking chaos about him. I thought that was done extremely well. It's like, I mean, the whole film is done, like, the more I think about the film, like, it does look good. There's a lot of really, really good shots in it. It is like I was just saying, the CGI let it down.
But I think it let it down, but also I think it's hysterically added to it in some ways, where they're the bits that you remember, you're like, holy fuck.
But even like there's a bit where like Bra at the end, like she's hanging, they're like sacrificing her to Dagon, and she's hanging naked over like this pit, and they're all gathered around in like flesh masks, chanting. And it's like a real kind of like holy fuck moment.
Yeah,
but
Indiana
then like
Jones
these really bad
Doom.
CGI tentacles, but they're not even, you can't even make them out, they're just like black.
Yeah.
And they look like real 2D and drag her down and rip her arms off. You know, where you kind of go, you kind of, you really fucking, you know, you ruined like all that work.
Yeah, and then
that went into
you threw it away in like fucking 2 seconds of shitty CGI.
Whereas I suppose with the Resurrected, I can't really, like, the one scene that does stick out to me is that bit where like the thing was being burnt on the bonfire.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
Yeah, I can't, none of the rest of it really. Like, I
suppose at the start and the end where they're like fucking, remember the orderly was like, I'm not going in that room, Jesus Christ, look at the mess of it.
Yeah.
And like at the end where it was like, oh my gosh, there is a mess because it's just like fucking bodies melted all over the place.
Yeah, but it's not really memorable, is it? You know, that there's like Chris Sarandon is great. Like, he stands out.
Well, like I said, there's a few, like, if you're thinking of iconic moments, my mind always goes to what could you pull for, like, the, you know, sort of a poster for the film or something like that. And I suppose you end up doing is, God, I've forgotten her name again already.
Susan, we'll just call her.
Okay, yes, Susan. So her showing up in the sort of the private investigator's office, she does show up, and it is your iconic sort of, you know, your femme fatale.
But
kind
even
of
that, it doesn't like match up to other like movies out of it. And like what you're saying about movie poster, what they have on the movie poster is a picture of Chris Sarandon with his bad teeth. You know, where when like that's your movie poster, you kind of go, like, I mean, I know they're different movies, and it's not like this is like the fucking Avengers or something like that, but I don't know, it just feels like they missed out on that. Like, I mean, I don't know what way it was re-edited, but it does feel like there's something missing from it. Like, I mean, the first half of the movie, neither one of us were paying that close attention to it. I saw you on your phone, and I know I was on my phone at bits, and it was like, we didn't really miss anything. So it was like, we didn't really pay attention for 40 minutes. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, you knew what was happening.
Which is a pity, because like, I mean, it was like, I mean, it had all the hallmarks of something that we should have liked, because it was all like fucking looking through, like, I mean, it hit sort of the Mummy and Indiana Jones and looking through journals and all these ancient things and fucking, you know, all that kind of, that vibe, that sort of.
I just think there wasn't enough. It needed more. It needed to get to where it was quicker.
Yeah.
So it needed to get to the basement a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And to try and deal with stuff, or maybe have some of the monsters escape and more people getting killed.
Yeah.
They needed a bit more of a threat than trying to do, and the mystery wasn't there. Because you fucking knew what it was. Like, I mean, I knew what it was straight away anyway, because like I was after reading the book. And like, I mean, this is our first time looking at this as well. I should have said at the start. So it's, you know, they could have put in a couple of different twists and stuff in it, and it just felt like you reach the point where you know what's going on very quickly, and then you're like, they're treating you like you're a moron for like an hour until they get to the point with the reveal, and then you're
or
just
they're like, yes, we will allow you to know now what we
yeah,
want
you're just
to
like,
reveal.
oh god, like, I mean, this is so obvious. So I suppose for the iconic moments, I think I'll give Dagon 4.
Yeah, give it the win. Yeah, I'll be the same. Give it a 4 as well.
8. For the Resurrected,
I'm going to go with 2 because I can't really think of anything much.
yeah, I think I'd give it 1, and that's just for Chris Sarandon being in it. So that just gets a 3. Oh shit, I did something unintentional there. Yeah, so 3 on that. So commitment to the bit. Oh yeah, so yeah, basically the score for the iconic moments, Dagon gets an 8 and the Resurrected gets a 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
That's
commitment to
fairly
the bit.
skewed. Commitment to the bit.
Like,
Well, in fairness, I do think, I know you're saying, oh, fucking, I don't know, was the actor wasn't pulling off the whole thing of being Ash. I actually thought he was fairly fucking committed to the
yeah,
bit
he
in
was
Dagon.
good.
I thought he was
He
good.
leaned into. Apparently, he was basing his the part on, what was the name of that fucking silent actor that used to hang off clocks and shit? Harold Lloyd, was it, or something like that?
All right, Buster Keaton.
No, it was Harold Lloyd, I think. But yeah, so he was based it on, that's why he's wearing the glasses and stuff.
Right.
So he wanted to be slapstick with it, but it was just, I don't know, I think maybe it was the soundtrack might have fucked it up. I thought there was one element, a tiny element that probably would have made a big difference with that stuff. But yeah, I do think they were leaning into what it was. Like, they know exactly what they are. They were trying to be stupid, so much to the point that people were like criticizing it for saying that it was stupid in parts, that they didn't think it was intentional, and they were like, no, this is fucking intentional, this is what we wanted to do, this is we were trying to be funny. Like, I mean, if you've ever seen the Reanimator, that's like the big part of the Reanimator is it's like black humor.
It is, and he's like over the top intense as well.
Yeah.
And I do think this actor as well, I think he was doing that kind of, he was trying to pull that kind of vibe as well.
Yeah,
where he
I
was
do
like
think so,
super sincere and super enthusiastic about everything, and doing that whole like pushing the glasses up the nose, and like, you know, it was always like the glasses are always
he
getting
thought he
fogged
was
up
really
and
smart,
drowned
but
wet
he was
and
actually
stuff.
a moron.
Yeah.
Like, because he kept going, there's 2 possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Life is binary.
Yeah.
Either you're alive or you're dead, and if you're alive, there's 2 possibilities. Either you're this or you're that.
And he just kept fucking
riffing.
off,
Yeah,
like,
he kept riffing off the binary thing.
And your woman, she wasn't in it really enough, actually, the girlfriend, because she was like the strong one. She was the one that could do stuff. Even like at the start when there was the boat wreck, she's the one that's trying to.
She was winching the sail in, she was lifting the anchor,
And he
she
didn't
was
know
the
what
one
to
got
do.
the dinghy out, she was the one could speak Spanish, she was the one translating, she was going off
when
to
they
find
were,
the
even
police.
on the dinghy, he couldn't use the paddle on the dinghy.
That's it. Like, you know, she was the competent one overall, whereas he was like the bumbling fucking goofball, you know. But that's what I mean. Like,
they
it's
did
like,
lean into
it. Is
like,
the Ash kind of thing. Like, and I think if they leaned a little harder, they could have gone the sort of the Evil Dead.
And
route.
like, it was over the special effects were over the top. They could have tried to go for like, oh, let's try and make these look like realistic.
Yeah.
Fish people, but it was just like, no, these are fucking monsters. You know, when you do see them, they're monsters. Whereas, like, I mean, I think with the Resurrected, it did lean into it as well.
Chris Sarandon is committed to the bit.
Yeah, but all of them, I think, were, I think it's like there were, I know, it's hard to base on like what could have been, because
you're only extrapolating your own fucking
but like
suppositions.
on the film that it did come across as a serious like attempt to make modernize probably well known Lovecraft kind of thing to fans. And like, I mean, at this stage, like, Lovecraft, it wouldn't be the way people talk about him now. Like, he wouldn't have been a word just in common vocabulary that people would be like, you know.
Oh, it's Lovecraft.
Yeah. So it's like, it is very true to the book or to the story with it, but just it modernized. All the characters, like, it's played serious enough.
Yeah.
I think. Chris Sarandon, like we keep saying, is a standout in it. But like saying that, the others are they're all good. Like, you can't fault anyone in it. Like, they don't come across as if they're kind of like rolling their eyes, going, "Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this shit."
Yeah.
Like, the script is good to it. The effects are good. Like, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose we just fucking mark it. What would you give it, like, for the
because they're such different films? I feel they're both fairly well committed in their own way. So I'm going to give them a kind of a level peg, and I'm going to give them both 4.
4, yeah. I think I give Dagon 4 as well. So that gets 8. So Dagon gets 8, and the Resurrected, I think I'll give it 5. Because I do think there was a big attempt there to kind of, you know, that everyone was really trying to elevate it nearly to it. So the Resurrected gets a 9. So on the last one, it's the rewatchability factor.
I didn't think I'd rewatch the Resurrected again. We see this thing. I know we would rewatch Dagon again because we have done.
I think I'll get.
But I actually do think I would. I do think I go back and watch it again because I do think there's a few beats in it all right that I'm kind of like, actually, that was kind of interesting, or that was kind of cool. I don't think there's as much rewatchability in it because it is such a kind of a slow burn and such a sort of a drama. Yeah, the Resurrected.
I don't think I'd watch it again.
I think Dagon is it's a silly, put it on a Friday night with a few beers and popcorn and watch it and have a bit of a guffaw at it kind of thing.
At least with Dagon you can kind of cheer at the gore and stupidity.
That's what I mean. It's like, oh, look, you know, it's one of these sort of fun films that you throw on to sort of like enjoy. It's an enjoyable. I could picture, you know, Mystery Science Theatre fucking having a go at it and doing great things with the fucking.
I think with the Resurrected it feels like a Tales from the Crypt episode. That's too long. It doesn't feel like the Tales from the Crypt movies. And also Chris Sarandon was in Bordello of Blood. But it doesn't feel like enough happens in it to fill out a thing. And like, I mean, say if they're trying to go serious, like say maybe something like The Hunger or Angel Heart, it doesn't reach that kind of point either. So, you know, it's not like, say something like The Hunger or Angel Heart, one of those kind of ones from the 80s. You could rewatch them for, say, the good acting or kind of like it's creepy or, you know, there's a few different bits in it why you would look at it again. Whereas with this, I don't know, with the Resurrected, there's nothing really.
Well, you see, I kind of.
And Chris Sarandon isn't in it enough as well to kind of go, oh, yeah.
You see, this is where I think the rewatchability factor, I think, maybe is a bit skewed towards the more popcorny type films, if you know what I mean, because. Like, I mean, fucking Gandhi's a worthwhile film. I'm not going to sit down and rewatch that very often. You'll watch it once and you kind of go, wow, worthy. But I'm not fucking sitting through that again because it's too serious and not much happens and you have to pay attention.
Yeah, but there would be other people. Like, I mean, I've done, like, say, Goodfellas.
There's a lot of action in that. You know what I mean? You know, if you pick something like fucking serious and meandering and pondering and all the rest, that's a really, like... Schindler's List, I know you keep referencing it, but you know what I mean? You'd sit down and you'd, like, I mean, that's not something they kind of, oh, geez, I can't wait to throw that on again on a Friday night. That is a very serious film. It's brilliant. But it's not something they go, throw it on while we're having a Chinese up a Friday night, like, and we'll have a bit of a fucking laugh about it. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I find the whole rewatchability thing is skewed. I'll sit down and I'll watch Indiana Jones like 5 million times because there's loads of action and it's all like fucking one-liners and quips and stuff like that. Same with Die Hard. But you're not going to sit down and watch Othello
with the Resurrected, it has those action things in it, but it's just at the end.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like they could have done more. Like, I don't know. If it was... I think as a TV episode, even if it was like if it was following the investigator, it was like an episode of Supernatural and they just cut out the first fucking half an hour of it. Yeah. Or kind of like, it'd be like, really good.
A lot better, yeah.
But
yeah, no, I'd like, I mean, to get cut to the chase on that, like, rewatchability, Dagon wins it out, obviously, for me.
Yeah, I'd give Dagon, I think, 3, actually. I think I'd give it because I don't know if I could look at it. It'll be a long time before I watch it again.
Yeah, I'd watch it again, but it isn't the kind of thing that, like, I would, like, I mean, I would watch, say, something like, I don't know, fucking Hot Rod, which
Yeah.
isn't a huge action film, but I could watch that
But as
once
well,
every fortnight.
I think with some of these films, when you've seen them before as well, what you have to play into it was like, was it as good as it was when you looked at it before? And for Dagon, for me, it wasn't as good as I remembered it. There was actually bits in it where I was like, I'm convinced, like I thought you saw Dagon at the end, they swim along by him. There was none of that in it. So, I don't know if there was a version out there. I doubt there was. I doubt there's like multiple versions of fucking Dagon floating around out there. But yeah, so for me, I don't know if I ever look at it. I probably will look at it again. But so that's why I'd give it a 3. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 3, but but that's just because I'd watch it, but not very often. But the other one I'd probably only give like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, I think probably a 2 to the probably a 2. I think I'd give it, because chances are maybe at some stage we could end up going on a H.P. Lovecraft kind of vibe and say, where you won't remember it too well, and say, So that gets a 4. So then it's like Dagon has 6 and Resurrected has 4 in the watchability. Right, so Laura, you kind of do the old fucking team tune. And I just added up.
No, I don't know the rest of it. I've forgotten it. That bloody song from fucking Evil stuck in my head since like a week ago.
Oh yeah, anyone who hasn't seen that TV series, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
it's a CBS thing, and it's got this really weird kind of like kind of tone to it, but
it's a bit like
fucking
Fringe.
incredibly dark.
Yeah, it's like Fringe and Supernatural, but also like a little bit.
I think more like Supernatural. Fringe wasn't as comedic.
No. But it seems to have this weird quirkiness. And now, I never really watched it back in the day, but you remember that fucking lawyer thing, Ally McBeal?
Yeah.
Do you remember it had this weird thing where like all this random shit had just happened in it?
No, I never saw it. I remember like seeing bits like about
but there's like
babies
the dancing
and
baby
things,
and stuff, but like stuff like that seems to happen in this, but not as fucking annoying and trite.
Yeah, but there's like horrible things happening to people in it, and like it's really fucking gory, and like there's loads of demons in it, but they're still like, oh well, and it's like really sweet.
Yeah.
You can go, you're kind of like, it's brilliant. It's pure brilliant. Like we've seen probably about 10 episodes so far, and like I mean it's really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, I tallied up the scores. The winner is Dagon. With 40 compared to the Resurrected's 31 out of 50.
That's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that is, like, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, as I said, Dagon is going to win out on, like, action and rewatchability and stuff like that over something that is a bit more serious and a bit more...
I think it was probably made a bit better as well, Dagon. There was just, I don't know...
Dagon was made a bit better. What?
I do. I think when we were talking about the iconic moments, there was better shots in Dagon where you kind of go, there was more shots in Dagon that could have been posters or stills.
Yeah, I suppose.
In it.
Because I seem to remember, this came out about 2001, 2002 or something.
It was early 2000s.
And I seem to remember, like, at the time, I don't know, you were like, oh, I have to watch this, it's going to be brilliant, H.P. Lovecraft and all the rest. I seem to remember after I watched it, I was actually angry at you for making me watch it. I was like, that was a fistful of fucking shit. I was like, how bad was that CGI?
But I think it's aged well, apart from the CGI, because there's been much worse films, whereas I think the standard for movies
has slipped so far, and you suddenly look back at something like this and go, actually, that wasn't so bad.
It was kind of good. It was better than all the Avengers movies. But so look, Dagon is, and that's what I feel a bit bad saying about the rest, because they're so different movies, but but at the same point with the Resurrected, I want to like it so much.
I know,
but it's just there's not enough there.
And all I have in my head at the moment is Matt Dagon. I don't know why.
Dagon. But look, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. Probably might go away from the horror next week. I'm thinking about like Tarantino rip-off vibes.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, look, if you've made it this far, thanks very much for listening.
The horror was indescribable.
Yeah, like, people always say that about H.P. Lovecraft. If you actually read the books, it's a trick that he does. He says it was indescribable, and then he describes it. Yeah. There is a guy called Mark Fisher who wrote a couple of books about it. It's called The Eerie and the Weird, and maybe there's something else. And he writes about that in it. And it was when I read through it, I was kind of like, yeah, it does actually, because I've read all the Lovecraft stuff a couple of times. And it is that, like, there is fucking very little that he doesn't describe, but it gives you that kind of thing. It's like, oh, so you go, it's indescribable, but yet you go, like, how does everyone know Cthulhu looks like? Everyone knows what all the fucking the elder gods look like. So,
but it's lovely. That's the thing. You just go eldritch horror, and everyone goes, yes, I know exactly what vibe you mean there.
I think it's people, they use it as short that they haven't actually read the books or analysed them, that they kind of go, oh yeah. And it is that kind of meme about Lovecraft, but he just fucking conned everyone. But yeah, look,
anyway,
that's conversation for another time. Thank you very much for listening. Let us know what you think, if you disagree or agree below, and we will see you next week.
Fangin' or whatever.
Yes, Cthulhu.